Welcome to the Horse Talk Show.
You never heard of a talking horse?
With your host, Louisa Barton.
I want to be a famous rider. I should like to race.
Presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital.
Truth is, I help horses with people problems.
Now here's the Brit on the bit, Louisa Barton.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Larsen Farms is our TV broadcast sponsor. Mr. Richard Larsen, a man of great integrity, cares about every single bale of hay and about taking care of his customers. He also has a huge heart for those genuinely in need. Larsen Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital. Complete care. Oh. Huh?
Were we muted? I didn't see intro again.
Why?
Because he was still muted. He was trying to get hitting end like.
Listen, we have had no Mary at all. None. Well, I haven't anyway. I do have my good voice this week. Welcome to the Horse Talk Show presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larsen Farms, our broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. He has been telling me Pete, my co-host, has been telling me for about 3 months that he wishes I would stop talking so much.
Not exactly.
And so he almost has his dream come true because I lost my voice yesterday. So now I have the husky version of Louisa Barton.
She's a little deeper.
Dancing Pete Roda from Complimentary Horsemanship. We have Betsy from Larsen Hay with us. We have Pear Tree Ranch here, Jake, and he is in full
elf costume.
Yes. And then I have April Mayberry from Mayberry Farm, who started the training on both the Kentucky Derby winner and the Breeders' Cup Classic winner this year, which is pretty special. And then I have Olivia Fuller, who is the newer owner and co-founder of Crystal Cryo, and all of us look this good because of her.
Woo!
Yay! Got a couple of other special guests in the house who'll be joining us shortly. I've got Stephanie Cauffman and Jennifer Schuck here, and we've kind of got our, I hate to say it, favorites from this year. Is that terrible or what?
Yeah!
Oh, we love you all. And we just got a special visit from Courtney Mann from Epic, and she's here with us too. We just have to dress her because she's not in attire yet. So this show is actually our last live show of the year because we're going to do a best of next week so that everybody can have the holiday week off.
Darn! I don't get to do my own No, I'm joking. Go ahead.
Listen, you're an ass whisperer. You stick to whispering. That's a whole nother story.
Donkey.
Oh, yeah, and shout out also for Shine Equine. We've all got a bottle of it here to try. And I've even got one for Courtney right there. Look at that. So everybody gets to try this. Thank you, Shine Equine, and Mike Smith for the referral. We're going to do a year in pictures. So I'm going to start off by saying I've met some new super special people this year. I've known Olivia Fuller's mother for several years, probably for 4 or 5. And I got to know her this year really well. I'd seen her around at CEP events, and I'd say I love her like a daughter, but I'm much too young for that. So we're going to go with I love her like a sister. Jake's like almost laughing over that.
Isn't your daughter the same age?
Actually, she's older. Thanks. Throw me straight under the bus, brother. Love ya.
Good job, Pete.
My ass is going to kick you next time. So Olivia is an absolute gem. She's done everything from cryo my face and a couple of other areas.
We won't mention.
Stop it. And she's also helped me clean out my garage, which, by the way, is no small undertaking.
It took 8 hours.
Thanks to a
Non-stop.
post that Jake put on Facebook. This delightful person has come into my life and made my ass so much better. Oh, no, that was Olivia that did that. Thank you, Pete.
Donkey.
Donkey.
Not only that, but I also thought I couldn't dance. I still think I can't dance, but if I copy him, it's not as bad, which is why they call him Dancing Pete. Rhoda.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to try not to tear up when I mention Betsy.
Stop.
I've known Betsy for like 15 years probably, but this year, her and I went on our hurricane travels together. Who else could I call and say, 6 hours after a hurricane goes through, Betsy, we need to take hay to some horses? And she said, gotcha, let's call Richard. And we call Richard Larsen, and he gives us $15,000 worth of hay, and off we go and make several trips down south and get stuck in broken levees. And I've never rodeoed, but I have a feeling that I would have enjoyed rodeoing with Betsy. I can't tell you how much trouble we would have got in. I think it would have been a lot.
All the trouble. That is all the trouble.
All the trouble.
So Thelma and Louise have nothing on
Nothing on Betsy
Louisa
and
and Betsy.
nothing on us. I'm just going to say Betsy is the best person in the world to travel with. There is nobody else I would rather be sitting in a truck with that I could look at the right side of the road and say, Betsy, have you ever seen rapids on the side of I-75? No, I wonder why. We were ready to jump out and get on the roof of the truck if we had to. But with some amazing trips, I got to know her really well. She is, in less stressful situations, people have stressed me out. In times that should have been good, I have been stressed. I have never been in such a precarious situation with anybody who made me laugh so much. She is everything. And if you need hay, you should be buying it from Richard Larsen, because the man is an absolute giver. He is a man of such great integrity. I absolutely love him to pieces, and they're a wonderful team. So thank you.
Woohoo!
I have to thank Louisa also. She's a great hauling partner. She tries to keep you awake between her falling asleep, and then 15 minutes she jumps up and, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, why? Is everything all right? I'm just driving. Okay, I'm just checking. I feel badly. I fell asleep.
Whoops.
The only time I'm still is when I'm sleeping. So when I'm still, my body goes.
And she doesn't talk when she's sleeping.
Wow.
That was good.
So, although she kind of mumbles a wee bit in her sleep. Yeah, she's a mumbler in her sleep.
In a British accent.
It's more like a humming.
Yeah. She's just very, very happy, very good to travel with. We had a great time. We helped a lot of people and
she got a snort.
goals.
Merry Christmas.
got
We
a
have
snort.
a snort for the show.
Listen, I'm crying. I have a last mention. We took a new staff member on this year, Isaac Brocious, and I cannot say enough about how well he plays polo. I can't say enough about this young man. He said several times at his graduation with my son Edward that he loved doing TV and editing and video and everything, and that that was what he really wanted to do. He was going to leave us and go into the army. And is it wrong that I was praying that he wouldn't go?
I didn't want him to go either.
I know, right? We didn't want him to go. He has changed my life. He has done so many things that I could not get done for the show, and done it on time, and done it quickly, and done it efficiently, and produced videos that are absolutely priceless. His drone work is amazing.
Hard critic.
Yes, he's a hard critic.
Yes.
We haven't got a stupendous yet.
Yeah,
Maybe
we're
we will
going
this
for
show.
stupendous.
Maybe it's
Anyway, let's all give him a round of applause. I'm willing to rent him out to you until I can afford to have him full time. So if you need any work done, I'll rent him to you. But he can't. He has to stay because he's unreal. So those are my shout outs to my new friends, and I have to do a massive shout out to April Mayberry, who I've known for such a long time. She is a star. She is a superstar in Ocala. She doesn't get nearly enough credit. She started the training of Rich Strike and Flightline here in Ocala, and as all my equestrian friends here know, the foundation's so important. And we're going to have a segment with her later when she shares some of her amazing stories about them and starting the training of Zenyatta. So, we have royalty in the house. We'll be back with the next segment. I have no idea what it's about, but stay with us. This portion of the show is presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care, and our TV broadcast sponsor is Larsen Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Supporting sponsors are DAC Vitamins and Minerals, Seminole Feed Stores, Lip Chip LLC, Piranha, Florida HVAC Services, Crystal Cryo, Ocala Dog Ranch, and The Drinking Post. This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference.
With over 70 years of collective experience in the horse industry, Lip Chip was built with integrity by horsemen for horsemen. Introducing the Chip Link system, powered by Lip Chip, where a 15-digit unique ID becomes a key to unlock not only identity, but also health paperwork, owner information, and even photos of each horse. So simple, even a child can do it. The future is here. The future is Lip Chip.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
I'm Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show on Equus Television, here with Dr. Adam Kayott at Peterson Smith Equine Hospital in Complete Care. And we're going to talk about parasites, another thing we have to deal with quite a bit in Florida. Dr. Kayott, there's a slew of parasites.
Yes, there are. And they're always trying to figure out ways to get around what we're trying to kill them with. So obviously parasites can cause all kinds of problems. There's roundworms, ascarids, strongyles, or strongyles, big, small, you name it. There's all kinds of parasites out there that can wreak all kinds of havoc in horses. They can be just from as mild as a dull coat and a pot belly to severe colic and those sorts of things that can be an issue. So obviously staying on top of your deworming program is of utmost importance. It's particularly important if you have a horse that is exposed to a bunch of different horses, or you have a bunch of different horses coming in and out of the stable from other places around the country, around the world, that can be bringing these things in and out. If you have somewhat of a closed herd and where you're basically, you just have your backyard horses and they aren't going anywhere and you really don't have any other horses coming in, then that you have less of an issue probably. So that's always something to consider. And a new wave of thought. It used to be the old wave is, well, you just worm, bing, 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 so many months apart, you switch your wormer, and that was the old way of doing things. Well, because we did that and we did it blindly, we are starting to see some resistance to wormers, meaning the wormers that we were using are not working the way they're supposed to be working, or as well as they worked before. So what we're trying to do now is we're trying to deworm on need. All right, it's real easy. All we need is a fecal test to see, if there are any worms present. If there are worms present, then we recommend that you deworm, and we can recommend the dewormer that you should use. If there aren't, we're asking you to just don't. You don't need to do it, because once those things start coming in, we want to be able to be effective. There's nothing coming, there's no new products out there that are being researched. Ivermectin is basically the gold standard. It's been here for years, and there's nothing behind it that they're really working on currently to as a dewormer in horses. So that's our kind of our last line of defense, and if those worms become resistant to that, we're in a world of hurt. So we're trying to go that way, and I understand. I mean, fecals tend to be a little bit more expensive than just blindly worming, but in the long run, I think you're going to save yourself a lot of headache, because if that does happen, if resistance does happen, you're going to have a mess. So we're trying to avoid that. We are seeing that. It's not something that it's just that. It's not real. It definitely happens, and on your bigger farms, it tends to happen more readily. So we're trying to get people to worm as needed, do fecal exams, be in contact with your veterinarian as far as all that goes. Look at your horses, look at the body condition of them, look at their coat, and all those things that can kind of indicate whether they need to be dewormed or not. But gold standard would be a fecal exam, and we don't need a whole pile. Just need one little nugget. It's fine, and that'll give us a very good indication of what's going on.
Now, is there ever a concern that you take a nugget and you perhaps don't find anything, and later on it's possible? And then also there are some visible to the naked eye and some, of course, that are not.
That's right. So, yes, it is possible. It's not likely. If they have strongyles that are shedding eggs, if you get a nugget that doesn't have any in it, and there's a bunch, that's not very likely. So that can happen. There are a couple things. Tapeworms, they don't shed eggs, and then obviously you have encysted strongyles that aren't doing anything, but they're hanging out in the lining of the intestine. So those can be issues. That's why we kind of recommend that you do a fecal every, quarterly, so every 3 months or so, and that will give you a better idea, because certainly those encysted ones can come out at some point, and then those will start shedding eggs as well. As far as the tapeworms go, those can sometimes be seen around the perineum, underneath the tail. It's not very common in horses, so that's good. But yeah, so there are, fecal isn't the end-all be-all, but it's a really good indicator of what's worrisome.
And much better than deworming with something that perhaps will not take care of the particular parasite that you have, because there are other dewormers other than ivermectin, Strongid, and anthalcide, and a number of others that you might actually be addressing the wrong parasite.
Yep, exactly. So that's why we're trying to figure out what exactly is there, and just tailor your deworming program to what the problem is.
Makes sense. Very good. Parasites in horses. Here with Dr. Adam Kayott at Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. I'm Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show.
Dr. Kayott, wonderful chap. We were just talking about him, great vet. April Mayberry is here with me, and she's had a really incredible year. It's been quite the adventure. And I've lived her adventure.
Where's our word?
This is our word.
The word is adventure. So the more you use adventure, somebody gets to win, and you guys are all participating.
April.
So if you say adventure, that means they make a mark so we could get somewhere. So
Yes.
say adventure.
It doesn't. Stop. It doesn't count every time you say it right there.
And you
it does
win.
not. Does not count.
No. And you win a facial at Crystal Cryo.
That
Whoever
sounds like
says
a
it the
great
most.
adventure.
Oh, very funny. April, tell us a little bit about this year. When you put a little message on Facebook to me and said, if Rich Strike makes it into the Kentucky Derby, put some money on him. And it's the first time in my life I ever won a bet. And I won like $860, I think, which was amazing. And so I ran and put a bet on him to win. And you were pretty confident about him. Tell us about starting the training of a horse that wins the Kentucky Derby, how it makes you feel. And you probably have to lean in really good.
Well, obviously it is an adventure of a lifetime.
Ooh.
So, yes, thank you. Early days, I'm just giving him the foundation. So to know he was going to win the Derby when he left me, maybe not so much. But once he got there, yes, I got to root for him. You know, he came from my farm. It was an amazing thing. I don't really have words that can describe it. Other than when I was watching the race, I didn't see him until everyone in my house started screaming. And then I was like, "You what?"
Even the announcer, I don't think saw him.
Is that a horse? And yeah, so the screaming commenced.
Woohoo! Yeah.
Awesome.
And
So
how about that then to the Breeders' Cup Classic with Flightline, who also trained with you at your farm?
Yeah, Flightline was that was a joy to have. He was an absolute. You just knew it from the first time I saw him that he was just a different kind of animal. That was he was just so special. Everything he did was just different.
Amazing.
Made my job really easy.
So what age do you get them at?
I get them when they're a year, break them. Now we have January coming up, so they'll all be 2. And Flightline, like I said, he came in. He was actually late yearling when I got him, and just a different horse, just different. I knew right away. Like I really didn't do too much. He already, everything.
Get out of my way.
Yeah. This is one of their famous lines. I just
making
didn't
it
mess it up.
super easy.
I got out of his way.
That's it.
Now you also had Zenyatta. Of course, there's countless well-known horses that that you guys have trained there at Mayberry, but Zenyatta, a very special horse. Not this year, quite a while ago.
That's we're going back a little bit. Zenyatta again. She, I can compare Flightline to her. You just know early on the real good ones. You can just horses like that. You don't have to be a trainer. You're just around them, and they're just different.
So walking through your farm and visiting with your horses, if they've been with you more than a few weeks, they're all very personable. They all have their heads out, love people. I love watching the way you love on your horses and how much they really clearly take to you. I saw you touching $2.5 million horses in the barn, and you treated them just the same as all the others.
Yeah, well, they don't know how much they cost.
Right.
So they have no idea. And the horse standing next to that one might only cost $10,000, and they don't know the difference. So
I just love the way everybody in your barn is, the way they treat the horses and everything. It's so impressive.
Thank you very much. And we work really hard at that. And I do believe a good foundation, horses have to trust you. And it is a fine line of, there has to be a little respect with human and horse. So it's not all warm and fuzzy and everybody gets cookie.
It's all about boundaries.
Yeah.
Boundaries. I wonder who said that.
That's my adventure for next year.
Oh.
We have to go to break. We'll be back in a few minutes. Let's give April Mayberry of Mayberry Farm a big round of applause. Love her so much. One of the most down-to-earth, famous people I've ever met. We'll be back in just a minute.
This portion of the show is presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care, and our TV broadcast sponsor is Larsen Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Supporting sponsors are DAC Vitamins and Minerals, Seminole Feed Stores, Lip Chip LLC, Piranha, Florida HVAC Services, Crystal Cryo, Ocala Dog Ranch, and The Drinking Post. Crystal Cryo offers cryo skin facials, cryo slimming, and cryo toning, all non-invasive with no skin damage, no discomfort, no recovery time, and cryo offers a healthier alternative for anti-aging, boost collagen, and freeze fat cells. Check them out now at crystalcryo.net. Crystal Cryo, a beauty spa specializing in body contouring to enhance confidence with self-care, one body at a time.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at SeminoleFeed.com.
Horses! Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, piranha.
Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care seeks to be a leading international veterinary practice that provides state-of-the-art veterinary care to their patients while fostering professional relationships with their clients that stand the test of time. For 24/7 and the best in equine care, check out Peterson and Smith at petersonsmith.com or like them on Facebook now for more information. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larsen Farms, our TV broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest, alfalfa.
And by the way, Equus Television is now a free app on your app store. Please download it immediately so you can watch us all the time on the app. We're on 6 or 7 times a day on television on all smart TV networks. We're on the app. We're on the Sky 97.3 on Saturday morning. Simultaneously, we're on Odyssey.com worldwide, which is like Sirius or Pandora, like huge. And then we're on about 12 podcasts. One of our podcasts got over 11,000 listens last week, and that's one out of over 12. So if you're not listening, you're missing out. And this week, we're especially professional.
That's an adventure.
It's quite an adventure.
That's an adventure.
I was going to say, for all you listeners that are only listening to this, we're all in costumes.
Yes. You definitely need to go to Equus Television and watch, because you missed out. Anyway, we're now going to go on an adventure with Stephanie Cauffman, who I dressed today when she arrived. Let's see your socks, Stephanie. She arrived in these. Up on the table, yes,
Jingle
there you
bell.
go.
Christmas light socks.
She arrived in the socks, and I said, "Oh, let's do more." I'll also have Jake model his in his segment. Stephanie, tell us about your year.
It's been a good year.
You may have to lean into that weird-looking elf next to you.
Oh gosh.
There you go.
Please
Hi.
speak into the microphone.
Hello. It's
Be adventurous.
I'm
Yes.
oh I am. Don't you worry.
Isaac.
Yeah, absolutely it does.
He's shaking his head. Nope, I'm going to say adventure.
All right.
Well, he's close enough, I think. It's been a good year. So I've got a lot of young horses I've been bringing along. I have a lot of really awesome new students in the barn. So it's kind of been a year of, it hasn't been such a year for the upper level horses, which is almost more fun to me because it's been really building kind of the things that I care the most about, which is, kind of learning new things myself, my students, my family, and just kind of going back to the basics and making sure that I'm trying to get it all right.
Wow, what an adventure.
It's an adventure every day, especially with young horses. It's always an adventure.
Oh, you too, yes.
Oh, wow. She's the one that usually and today's adventure.
I think she's cheating.
That doesn't count.
No, that's cheating.
Yeah, and actually, with my voice this week.
Is that your
particularly,
adventure for the week?
It is. That's definitely keeping me quieter than usual.
Miss Chatterbox is no longer Chatterbox.
Well, you've been hoping for weeks.
I know.
Enough about your adventure. Let's get back to Stephanie's adventure.
Oh, I don't know. Their adventure's pretty funny.
He might be getting a Crystal Cryo for sure. In the costume, and I'm filming. That's my adventure for this week. Oh, mercy. That'll be good. So tell us about starting young horses for you. Interesting, because we've been talking to April a little bit about starting young horses. Tell us a little bit about kind of the technique and some of the things you do when you have a young horse that you maybe haven't had for very long.
So I don't usually end up backing them. I try not to because I've got a toddler who's 2, and I have a business. So
That's
I
an
need
adventure
to.
all by
it's 2-year-olds are terrifying, and they're always an adventure. So. I try not to back them because I really need to not get my body snapped in half. So I usually get them when they've at least, I say, send it back to me when it can walk, trot, and canter and probably not buck me off. But then it's up to me to kind of start putting all of the buttons on them and teaching them about life and about all of the skills. So I think for me, one of the most important parts is making sure that they're comfortable and making sure that their balance is good, because I really think that probably 90% of my training issues with young horses are they're out of balance in some way. So just kind of finding the balance and keeping it a bit less adventurous.
Oh,
no.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes.
I see Isaac over there calculating.
And Stephanie is an inventor, so if you don't know.
Yes,
That's
she
adventurous too sometimes.
Is. It is. That's
I was
an
going to say
adventure
that's
on
a
its
big
own.
adventure
Yes, it
to be
is.
an inventor.
That's a 3-part adventure.
Oh, gosh.
For our listeners.
Well, hold on, but let's back up. We don't want the dressage to be an adventure. We want that to be,
Yes.
yeah. We
2
try to
parts
keep.
can be in. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Cross country is always an adventure.
Yes, it is.
I loved. That was my favourite part of eventing in England was getting to go for a really good gallop cross country.
Yes.
That's the best part for me.
I've got a Connemara pony in from England right now who is the most fun.
Oh.
Nice that's action. Della. She's beautiful.
I had a Connemara. His name was Damien. I loved him. He was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, he's super cool. Yeah, we got him into sell, and I'm like, ooh.
Is he grey?
He's grey. He's so cute. He's the most fun.
Yeah, I love those. Mine was a Fleabit grey. He was really sweet.
Yeah.
He's a wonderful horse. So, the triathlon of a horse competition, all 3 parts. How difficult is it to get a horse that's good at all 3 parts? Because let's face it, they're 3 cross country and show jumping, fair enough, but you've got to be pretty fired up for those 2 parts and then nice and calm for the dressage. How hard is that to find a horse that fits in all 3 of those?
It's hard, but as we were talking about earlier, actually before the show, usually if they're really, really good as a professional, we don't get to keep them. So sad but true. So I'm usually competing myself on my homebreds, which are wonderful, but they tend to be a little bit spicy. The quiet ones that are good at all 3, I usually end up having to sell. So I get to applaud them in their new homes as they do wonderfully at all 3 things. But it's hard. It's hard to find something that's good at all of them.
Your babies go on and graduate and win.
It is. It's wonderful, though. It's great to be able to...
It's a real adventure.
That's beautiful.
That's William.
It's living the adventure vicariously through your graduates.
He's the spiciest, so don't let his cute looks fool you, because he is...
Beautiful. William's
lovely
great.
form.
William's
Look
the
at those
best.
Front legs.
Yeah, he's the best, but he's spicy, which is why he's mine forever.
It will always be an adventure. How that works.
That's
right. I love the tally-ho jump with the fox.
Yeah,
Cool.
That's the oldest of 3 brothers that I have. So, yeah, he's the best. He always gets the big pats on cross country.
What an exciting adventure it is to be an eventer.
It is.
Absolutely.
I won last week, and she's trying to make up for it.
I still think you guys are cheating.
I know, I think so too. So, your little one, she's going to be a rider. She already is riding, right?
She is. She has a little miniature paint pony named Splash, who's probably the best horse on the farm. And she is an angel every day. Only for Paige. The first thing you hear in the morning when you come to my barn is... because she turns her feed bucket over and stomps in it until you feed her. Also, if she gets cold, she probably gets blanketed the warmest. Yeah. She probably gets blanketed the warmest of any horse on my farm, because if she's cold, she's terrifying. Unless there is a small person in her vicinity, and then she is an angel on 4 legs.
Wow.
But yeah, no,
there she is. There they are.
Just like clockwork. Team, well done. Wow.
It's the best pony in the world. I went up to Jacksonville to get her. I saw her on Facebook, and I was like, I'm coming today. And she was like, well, I might have somebody. And I was like, I'm coming today? Thank you. I need this pony. She's the best pony.
Yeah, that. Already horse crazy.
Oh my gosh, that kid loves animals.
That's
so
wonderful.
much. We've got 5 hamsters in my tack room right now because toddlers. It's very normal to have 5 hamsters in your tack room, I think. But here we are.
Well, look, she's growing up the country life. That's the best way.
Yeah. She loves it.
Absolutely, no doubt. Stephanie, thank you. Stephanie's going to stay with us for the rest of the show. And we have a little feast here we're enjoying. Woohoo. And we'll be back with our next adventure. Stay with us on the Horse Talk Show.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show.
You never heard of a talking horse? Well, listen to this.
With your host, Louisa Barton.
What does it feel like to be in love with a horse?
Presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience.
Back in the saddle again.
Now, here's your pretty Louisa Barton.
You're fab. You're switched on. You're a bit of all right. Yes. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Larsen Farms is our TV broadcast sponsor. Mr. Richard Larsen, a man of great integrity, cares about every single bale of hay and about taking care of his customers. He also has a huge heart for those genuinely in need. Larsen Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa.
With over 70 years of collective experience in the horse industry, Lip Chip was built with integrity by horsemen for horsemen. Introducing the Chip Link system, powered by Lip Chip, where a 15-digit unique ID becomes a key to unlock not only identity, but also health paperwork, owner information, and even photos of each horse. So simple, even a child can do it. The future is here. The future is Lip Chip.
This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference.
This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, where the entire team is committed to making your experience in sales and service hassle-free and easier than ever with no games or gimmicks. Come in and visit on Southwest College Road or online at palmchevrolet.com. A second-to-none experience with all the amenities. Palm Chevy, find new roads.
The Equine Performance and Innovative Center, situated on 30 pristine acres in the horse capital of the world, is one of the finest and most complete conditioning and rehab centers for equines and canines in the nation, including an equine hyperbaric chamber, aqua pacer, water treadmill, cold water leg spa, equine swimming pool, Eurosizer, and more. Epic equine veterinarians specializing in rehab and conditioning. For more information, go to epcrehab.com. Or find them on social media. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the second half of the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larsen Farms, our TV broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
And I've been on an adventure with Betsy a few times.
Were you in a Chevy from Palm Chevrolet on your adventure?
Actually, I don't think we were. Let's not talk about that. Maybe that's why that we got... Pete Rhoda and complimentary horsemanship that's not free. AKA the ass whisperer.
You got to tell the story now.
Yes, he's really good with my ass. Ooh, that's he really is. Mary, quite contrary. Nobody except Betsy, my adventure friend, is ever been quite as good with my naughty Mary, quite contrary, the ass.
Yes.
Yes, those two, team. Mary sees either one of them. Got Stephanie Cauffman here, our eventer in the house. Jake from Pear Tree Ranch. Jingle because, bells. Yes.
Jake Jingle Bells.
Not farm,
Biernbaum.
because farm is for...
Vegetables.
And
ranches are
for horses.
Cowboys.
And cows. Yes.
Well,
we
what
also
am I
have
supposed to do
Jennifer
then?
Schuck here from Diamond, who was our guest last week, and she was wonderful. She went on the Great Florida cattle
Cattle
drive,
drive.
and I already talked to Barana about that too. We gotta make that happen more often. And then I've got our superstar here in the house that had the year of all years, April Mayberry from Mayberry Farm, who trained the top 2 winners of the top races this year, and she's amazing. She just
Early training.
Early training. She keeps doing it and doing it and doing it. So we are now going to go to Jennifer Schuck, and we're going to hear about her adventure this year.
Oh man, I had quite an adventure this year.
You did indeed.
What are we talking about? The cattle drive?
Yes, a little
Together?
Florida history
Yep.
you were going to give
Okay,
us
so
on. Yes.
all right. So I love history. I'm not going to say
You
that
might
I'm
have to lean in.
I love history. I'm not going to say I'm an expert at it, but when I decided I was going to go on this cattle drive, I'm like, I need to learn more about Florida and the history of it, and just fascinated. I didn't realize Florida was such. I mean, I knew there was a lot of cattle here, but I didn't realize the total history, and that the cattle had come here in 1521 with Ponce de Leon, and so that was the 500th anniversary of it, of the cattle drive. Wow. So, and the Cracker Horse. So, sorry, frozen.
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 That's an adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Frozen like the cupcakes and cryo.
Oh, there we go.
It's your facial with frozen cryo.
The word should have been cryo.
So your adventure, which if you're watching
there
on
we go.
TV or Facebook, you can actually see some of this. I want to do this so bad. This would be so fun.
And let everybody know, every time they go through a gate, what do you have to do with the cattle?
Well, you have to slowly let them through. You got to get a group out in front of the cattle to help keep them from running and organize them. And we got the cowmen with their cattle dogs that help contain them. And,
Got some pros.
They count every time, right?
They do. They count every head going through the gates.
Right.
Yep, they do. Yeah.
So when you were doing your discovery kind of history of Florida, so that you could go on this, you wanted to have this knowledge. Share a little bit with us about some of the key things that you really learned. Did you kind of learn what this was all about from that history?
Yeah, absolutely.
I enjoyed your booklet that's up there.
Oh,
I
good.
remembered to bring
Good.
it back, but I enjoyed.
So those
looking
are the
through that.
Cracker horses there. And so the Cracker horse came from with the Spaniards when they came into Florida in
Good pony horse
1521.
to me.
Yep. And I also learned that there are other names for the Cracker horse. The Marsh Tacky, and the Marsh Tacky is the horse of the Carolinas, but it also is considered a cracker. And they're also called swamp ponies. They're called
Swamp ponies.
And they almost became extinct because when the cattle started coming down after the Dust Bowl into Florida during the Great Depression, they brought along with them the screwworm and diseases and stuff. So they started crossbreeding with the cracker cattle, and they had to become they became bigger cattle. And then the cracker horses weren't able to just contain them. They had to be roped, and the cracker horse wasn't big enough, so it almost became extinct. So then that's when the quarter horses started being introduced down here, because they had to rope the cattle to doctor them.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I found that very fascinating. But,
oh my gosh! So the quarter horses were much more capable of the
yes,
job.
they were a bigger horse. The cracker horse is, there were different size cracker horses on this drive, but mostly they're around 800, 900 pounds.
Oh.
So they're not a very big horse, and they're not roping horses. You work the cattle with the whips.
Yeah.
So
the
that's
quarter horses that ended up kind of almost taking their job.
Yep. So
it's similar to Australian cattle work was
Yeah.
with the stock whips.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. So you don't hit the cattle with the whip. You just use the sound
Right.
to move them. And the cowmen and the cracker cowboys, they could be identified by the sound of their whips, and they actually used it like a code to communicate with each other over miles. So
That's really interesting because, I don't see that many cracker horses. I'm surprised how many. I think one year when we did the parade downtown, somebody said they were going to bring a cracker horse, and I don't think they even did. And I think other than that, I've come across maybe 2 or 3 cracker horses. So there aren't that many of them.
There aren't, and there are like the older families, that the generations of cracker families that are here that have started breeding them along with the cattle, because the cattle, they've been crossbred, so then they had to go back and go back to the original bloodline. So they're using the DNA to identify, how pure the breed is to bring it back. And my circle that I was with were a lot of cracker breeders in that group. So I could probably get you some cracker horses for your next parade, because they're a fun group of people.
I'd actually love to get a couple of them in the studio.
Yes, absolutely.
With videos and photos and things.
The horses or the people?
The people. That would be an adventure. Getting the cracker horses. We might as well bring some cows in too. What do you think?
Why not?
Sounds good to me.
Listen, I tell my boss, CEP, that we've got cows and horses out here. He'll be like, oh, it's Louisa.
It's just Louisa.
So how long is this drive? Where does it go from? Where does it go to? Like, how long does it take?
I'm
curious about
that. It
that.
was a week long. It was
wow.
a week long. I went down early, like 2 days early, because I wanted to just settle in. But it was from, it started Monday morning, where my group picked up the cattle. We got to drive the cows first, and it was a long day. It was about 6 miles to get to the cows, and we went to the Deseret Ranch, which is the largest cow-calf producer east of the Mississippi.
Yeah.
So, and we went to the next Saturday. So it was.
Oh wow, that's so cool. How many miles was it?
Probably 80.
Wow,
80 miles
that's
total.
Really cool.
Yeah.
And it's every year they
no,
move them.
We're
or is
gonna
it-
make it.
No,
every
yeah. So we're
Louisa has anything to do with
we're
it.
gonna
make it every year.
We're gonna put together a group, and it's
This is the
every
group.
it's been every
Here's
10
the
years.
group.
What an adventure!
Yeah.
We gotta wrap it
Hey,
up.
we're
Jennifer
gonna-
Schuck is gonna
All right.
stay with us. We'll be back with the next adventure after this break.
All right.
Thank you to the presenting sponsor of this portion of the Horse Talk Show, Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to our TV broadcast sponsor, Larsen Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Also, thank you to supporting sponsors, Nirvana Medical Spa, TT Distributors, Summit Joint Performance, Equigreen, Midnight Rose Equestrian, the Florida Horse Park, Horse Farms Forever, and the Equine Performance and Innovative Center. Having an air conditioner that works well in Florida is a must. Experience peace of mind by working with Florida HVAC Services, a family-owned and operated company taking pride in always putting their customers first, providing air conditioner repair, installation, and maintenance services on all makes and models. For those suffering from allergies or asthma, air quality testing is recommended and hospital-grade air filters are available. Ask about a pure air filtration system today. Check them out at flhvacservices.com or like them on Facebook. Florida HVAC Services, serving all of North Central Florida with honesty, integrity, and the highest value of workmanship. And that's 100% guaranteed.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at SeminoleFeed.com.
Horses. Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, piranha.
My name is Dr. Natalie Solomon. I formulated Equigreen with cutting-edge science and technology alongside the passion that is represented by a lifelong love of horses. I created a product that I would trust for my horses because they deserve nothing but the best for their bodies. Horses rely on us to take care of them, to love them, to respect them. This is how Equigreen came to life. Equigreen, CBD for your horse that you can trust.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
We're back on.
Back on the Horse Talk Show presented by Farm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larsen Farms, our TV and app sponsor. Larsen Farms.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
There you go. It's time to chat. Well, you know, we have like a room full of wonderful equestrians here, and we've been so busy having our Christmas party, we forgot about the show.
You guys are missing out of all the fun stuff.
It's a real adventure in here.
Oh, the break time's the biggest adventure of it all. Jake, tell us about pears and trees.
Pears and trees.
And give us a twirl.
Get up and see the whole outfit.
You should have seen me trying to zip him into this. By the way, this is actually a girl's costume. Whoops. The adventure was before the show, trying to get the zipper up. I almost had to get Olivia to help me.
That would be an adventure.
We sucked it in, and
We did. And now all the muscles are showing.
all of it.
Good thing you work out.
Yes.
Tell us about your year.
It's been a heck of a year. I own and operate Pear Tree Ranch with my lovely wife Stephanie and my son Johnny, who is 5.
Johnny, we love you.
And we do everything from our young horse program, our Pear Baby program. So we have Gene Monch performance horses, they're quarter horses, and I get to pick the breeding. We raise them up, I get them started, and between 3 and 4, we start finding them homes. And we just homed 3 in a 2-week period. So Merry Christmas!
Congratulations.
That was it's almost 6 years worth of work to get to that point where we have the number of horses and they have the training and they have grown up, and we take our time with them. We don't have a date. There's not a show that they have to be at, so we can really let them grow and mature. And that can be such a hot topic debate of, oh, you do too much, oh, you don't do enough, and there is this middle ground.
Yeah,
Okay, and
one of the things I love about April is she'll say, you know what, if one's just not ready, we'll just put them back in the field and tell the owner, you're just not ready, we're not going to push it.
When you can, the only way to do it. And when you can take that time and you listen to the horse and you let that horse help dictate that, but at the same time, you can't wait forever, because the other part of the business is we help wrestle some of the rankest of the rank that show up and have been spoiled and been put off for too long. So this is the gray horse, not a gray horse, the gray horse.
Yep, the gray horse.
And 10 years ago now, that horse came in as a extremely naughty horse, and he did it all in not a good way. And now he does it all in a very positive way. And
Johnny rides him.
Johnny rides him. My son rides this horse. I mean, this is a horse that kids can ride, old people can ride. He goes now, I take dressage lessons. He can pee off, do tempi changes. He can rope, work a cow, ride in the mountains, do, Liberty demos in front of thousands of people. He can do it all. This is Spike you're seeing if you're watching. That's one of the first Pear Babies that we sold. So we have the Pear Baby program. We have the horse development or training that I do, where we take in outside horses, and I do everything from nice young horses that just need a good start to horses that have maybe got off on the wrong hoof. And then we do a lot of people training as well.
People need training.
People need training. It's
probably
not
the most important part of the equation.
Yeah, it's an adventure, You got to help them horses,
Most
but you
horses, problems come.
Yeah. And so when you keep the balance, when I can do the development, I know that horse is not the problem anymore, and that helps me better diagnose. There is a balance, because there's times where the horse isn't being helpful, and they need the boundaries. And then there's times where
There's that word again.
Yeah, and
that's
so
my adventure
that's
for 2023.
the boundaries. And then when we travel, some of these pictures you're seeing are from the clinics that we do all across the country. So we have my young horse program, we have training and teaching at home, we have clinics that I travel the country and put on, and then we also have our video production that we do. So we have Pear Tree Ranch, our YouTube channel, that a lot of free content on there for people to enjoy, and then we also have...
You'll be wearing the costume.
All right, I will take it home and do a video in this.
Please.
Christmas edition.
Christmas edition of Pear Tree Ranch.
Don't take yourself serious.
That's right. And then we also have patreon.com/Pear Tree Ranch, and that's a subscription thing that people can get on where there's a few different levels that people can do, but those are full-length produced educational series available on there. So that way we can help more people from a distance, and that starts to allow me to stay home with the family and do all the things that we have at home, because we're only doing more and more. I was, an hour ago, I was finishing welding fence, and 2 hours before that, I was riding horses, and 3 hours before that, I was riding the tractor, and we do a lot at home. So
can I tell you that... Jay.
This is one of my adventures you're seeing. Sorry to interrupt you. I got to tell you about my adventure this summer. I did a lot of cowboying out west in Colorado, learned about making hay and all that can go into that. So maybe one day Betsy will hire me on and I'll drive their tractor.
There you go.
And have an adventure.
Well, I'm going to tell you about another adventure, which is that in all of this busyness that Jake and his amazing, beautiful wife, Stephanie, and their lovely little boy took time out of all of this back in the beginning of October after Hurricane Ian went through. Betsy and I had been on several trips down south already, and we were trying to round up some other people to go and help us. And Jake and Stephanie took time out of what is an extremely busy, chaotic time with having a little one and having so many different things going on at home and just having that many horses to take care of night and morning. And they actually made one of these quite long trips with us down south. So I just want to say thank you to them.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That was their cost, their vehicle, their gas, their time, and they have a lot going on. It's hard to leave a farm, it's hard to leave a ranch. It's hard to leave that many animals and to have a young one as well. So that was very, very kind. Thank you. We appreciate you greatly.
The amount of people that take time to give and donate between what Larsen put up with the hay, the shavings, the feed, the grain, all these supplies. There was medical supplies. There was not just horse feed, but there was stuff for all animals that got loaded and taken down there. And we maybe didn't have loads of stuff to give, but we sure as heck could give of our time and energy to make sure that people were cared for. And we get a lot of that. Pear Tree Ranch is a community, and we have that community across the country and across the world of people that are involved with what we're doing, and they give a lot, and it makes it so that we can have that time to try to and make it a priority to give back. So that's just one way that we can do it. And to be given the opportunity for you to reach out and call and go, hey, we're doing this, like, we're there. We're not missing a shot to be able to do things like that, and it just proves Ocala, horse capital of the world, that we're going to live up to that and take care of people. So
spot on. And I actually said, it could so easily have been us. It could so easily have been us.
Yeah.
I would just like to think that all horse people, anybody who owns anything four-legged, knows how taxing it can be on a good day.
That's right.
And how expensive
it's an
it can be on a
adventure.
good day. It's an adventure. We are going to come back for our last segment this year in just a few minutes. Stay with us. Thank you to the presenting sponsor of this portion of the Horse Talk Show, Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to our TV broadcast sponsor, Larsen Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Also, thank you to supporting sponsors, Nirvana Medical Spa, TT Distributors, Summit Joint Performance, Equigreen, Midnight Rose Equestrian, the Florida Horse Park, Horse Farms Forever, and the Equine Performance and Innovative Center.
This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, where the entire team is committed to making your experience in sales and service hassle-free and easier than ever with no games or gimmicks. Come in and visit on Southwest College Road or online at palmchevrolet.com. A second-to-none experience with all the amenities. Palm Chevy, find new roads.
The Equine Performance and Innovative Centre, situated on 30 pristine acres in the horse capital of the world, is one of the finest and most complete conditioning and rehab centres for equines and canines in the nation, including an equine hyperbaric chamber, aqua pacer, water treadmill, cold water leg spa, equine swimming pool, Eurosizer, and more. Epic equine veterinarians specialising in rehab and conditioning. For more information, go to epcrehab.com. Or find them on social media.
This show was brought to you in part by TT Distributors, dedicated to bringing their customers the largest selection of quality horse supplements, products, and farrier supplies in Florida at affordable prices. Also online at ttdistributors.com.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on last segment of the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet. Your hometown Chevy experience. Our studio audience is very loud, but I love having them here. Thank you very much to Larsen Farms. They are a TV broadcast sponsor.
And
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
I almost got to say Pete's line. It was going to be an adventure.
Oh, that was good.
Larsen's Hay.
Yes, always an adventure with Betsy.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
There, he got to do it.
There you go, you did good.
What adventure?
Oh, yeah.
I gave up. I'm not saying adventure again.
So in this final segment, I actually want to do a few shout-outs. First of all, we've got to start off with Piranha. Now, we don't have the green screen today, so you actually get to see the bags.
Whoops, I didn't want to cover you.
You got goodie bags in there, and I think there may be lip chip stuff in there, and there's all sorts of fun stuff. And then there's this stuff.
Cedar Key Spice, if you ever go to Yum Yums. This is the stuff they put on all the food.
Yum Yum should have delivered the food tonight.
Yes.
There you go.
Next year.
Right. I'm in. Good plan. Good plan. But Piranha do a lot of amazing things. They're actually the presenting sponsor of the Equine Initiative, which is the CEP's Equine Initiative. We're the only chamber in the world that has an equine initiative, and that is my day job. This is just my side hustle. And
side hustle.
That's what Kevin calls it, side hustle.
Thank you.
And it's to advocate, connect, educate, and innovate for the horse world. And this year's been a really, really key year because we did a ribbon cutting downtown for the plaques and bricks to celebrate the equine industry. And we also got equine studies in the public school system from kindergarten to graduation. And that was all from CEP, working with the city of Ocala and working with the school system. So we are going to have horses in 3 schools. We're going to have horses visiting the other schools. We're going to have field trips to farms. And we're going to have some opportunities for students in high school to apprentice at different farms as well. So gentle carousel miniature therapy horses are going to actually be taking their therapy horses and their books into the elementary schools to do literacy programs with them. So really cool. We feel like the chamber here is really special. We're up to nearly 30 people now. We're also working with the Lake Chamber, and it's just really exciting stuff. So
more equestrians need to sign up for CEP.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go.
Pete's going to be our newest partner. Yay. Which will really be cool. And actually, Dr. Rulan from Epic is actually on the board now for CEP, so that's really exciting. So a lot more equine good things going on in our county. So Piranha had their 50-year anniversary this past weekend, and they actually had a golf tournament, and Betsy and I were going to play golf. And this is how small the horse world is. Mark Cassie, Hall of Fame trainer, was going to actually play golf for us on our team, but he couldn't because he had to be at Tahissa because he's on the advisory board. and that's the Horsemen's Integrity Association. So he was actually doing that instead. But we had, check this out, we had already, this is really funny, we'd already had the cards printed on the golf cart with his name, and I posted a picture of the golf cart on Facebook. Olivia Fuller and I are in my garage, cleaning out my garage, and Mark Cassie calls me. Am I supposed to be playing golf tomorrow? I said, no, why? He goes, someone just sent me a screenshot of your Facebook with my name on a golf cart. And I said, no, Mark, that was Friday. Remember you called me and told me you couldn't because you were at... Here's the thing. He goes, oh, that's right. Because I was going to tell you I'd play tomorrow. Olivia was standing right by me laughing her head off. Only Louisa could be in the garage, and Mark Cassie's like, am I supposed to be playing golf tomorrow? And by the way, while we're talking about him, a couple of other shout-outs. Mark Cassie actually gave us $5,000 towards the hurricane efforts. I saw him at OBS. Awesome. He said, why do you look so tired? I said, I've been on an adventure with Betsy from Larsen Hay. And he said, what? And he said, what did OBS do? I said, well, OBS gave us some hay and feed, and you've got $5,000 on my account right now. Oh, wow. And 5 minutes later, Tom Ventura from OBS sent me an email. Mark Cassie was just in my office. You've got $5,000 to buy whatever you want for the hurricane. I was like, wow.
AQHA.
Yes.
That's
yes. The Zydemas, Wayne Davis and Katie, thank you, and Tim Zydema gave us a bunch of shavings and did a bunch of shipping down for us. Yeah. 4 loads, yes. Shout out for them. The Congress sent us a check.
The American Quarter Horse Association.
Yep, for $10,000. And then Lip Chip, who everybody needs their horse to have a lip chip, by the way. Lip Chip sent us $5,000. TT Distributors, I cannot say enough about TT. Gosh. Everybody needs to go there and buy something tomorrow. And say Louisa sent us. I went in there and picked up $4,000 worth of supplies for the hurricane efforts. And they gave me the receipt, which I was bringing to the CEP Foundation because the chamber jumped right in to help us fundraise. And Dana and his daughter said, no, take it. Can you imagine a small store like that giving us that much to help people?
Wow.
That's lovely.
Dana said no, so everybody has to buy everything at TT Distributors.
And then how much did Piranha give you?
Piranha gave me a check this weekend at the golf tournament for $10,000.
Nice. Amazing.
And a lot of people think, oh, Ian's over. It's no. There are people down there who are still dealing with the aftermath. These are the 3 checks. There's one to the Canine Warriors program. There's one to the equestrian program at the Heart of Florida Youth Ranch, and there's one for Ian for the victims. So the bad news for Betsy in 2023 is we're going to North Fort Myers, baby, on another adventure. And Olivia's going with us because she's never had this sort of adventure before.
And Piranha treated us like family. We got invited to all sorts of stuff. For the Christmas party and then the gala.
You've had the adventure of your life this year.
I did.
Not just that, but he's now the official ass whisperer. Here's proof, if you don't believe it.
Oh, no.
Yes, this is Mary, quite contrary, and she is contrary indeed. Betsy can witness and look at her. No, Pete's going, Louisa, no halter, look, no halter. Oh. And I'm like, okay, I'm coming. Oh, yes, I said, no halter.
That was her last foot.
She's like, oh, it's Uncle Pete. Here's my foot. Oh, would you like to hold my foot? How long would you like to hold my foot for? You can hold my foot all day. I'm going to stand here and not act like an ass.
She's clearly never done anything wrong in her life.
You can tell.
Ever.
Yeah, you should have seen the first trim I did.
No. Never done anything wrong in her life, ever.
Never.
Let me tell you something. The first time he trimmed Mary, it was an adventure.
Yeah. That was the second time.
Yeah, you can't make it up. I mean, he held onto her foot, and she was like this, and he just held on until she flipped herself over. She did it. He didn't do it. She did it to herself. I was like, I'd feel bad, but she did it to herself. It was like nothing he did. He just held on.
Yeah.
And so then he sat on her and trimmed her foot. And that was priceless. I was like, oh, this is good.
And then we let her up, and then she stood like, okay, here. I'd rather do it that way.
Yeah, I don't want you sitting on me. And she was an angel this time. It was amazing.
Yeah.
He just walked in, and also the miniature horse had his halter off for the first time ever. And
Yeah, you love when you show up and they go, trim these horses.
Oh, no.
Now we got to catch.
That was the noise. Tom Schmidt will kill me. Merry Christmas, Tom Schmidt. Everybody, thank you to our guests and our supporters and our sponsors. As we say in England, happy Christmas. But then Happy New Year sounds weird. Whether you're in Ocala, Marion County, the horse capital of the world or not. Happy horsing around until next year.